Okay, so today we're going to talk about number of solutions. And graphs can have three different types of solutions, and I've drawn them here. The first one is right here. And if you think about it, like there's only three things lines can do. They can kind of intersect, they can kind of become parallel and never intersect, and they can be the exact same line. A solution is where the thing intersects. So that would be a solution. And on this thing, we would have one solution because they have one intersection point. This thing, since the lines are parallel, they never intersect, so we'd have zero solutions. This thing, because they're the same line, they actually intersect at every single point. This would have what we call infinitely many solutions, or that's the sign for infinity, so infinitely many. Now, the important part is, lines are made up of two things, slope and y-intercept. So it'd be nice to know what the slopes and y-intercepts are of these things. If they intersect at one point, that means the slopes of these lines are different, and we can see this is a lot flatter and this one goes up. So the slopes of these things have to be different. The slopes of these lines, as you can see, they go up by exactly the same amount, so they are the same. The slopes of these lines have to be the same because they're on top of each other. If these things intersect, their y-intercepts can be different or the same. In this case, they're different, but I'll give you a case where they're the same really quick. So right over here, they intersect only at one point, but their y-intercepts are the same because they cross at the same spot. So for their y-intercept, it really doesn't matter what if they intersect and they have one solution, it doesn't matter what their y-intercept is. It just means that they have different slopes. This one, as you can see, they have different y-intercepts. And they have to have different y-intercepts because you can see if they have the same y-intercept, they fall into the infinitely many. So this is kind of the breakdown. If it has a different slope, it's guaranteed to have one solution. If they have the same slope, well, they could either be zero solutions or infinitely many, and we tell based on the y-intercept. So if they have different y-intercepts, they have no solution. If they have the same y-intercept, well, they have infinitely many solutions. Let's see a couple of examples of this. Okay, so let's try to state the number of solutions each of these things have. For this first one, it would have one solution because the slopes are different. I don't care about the y-intercepts at this point. If the slopes are different, one solution. These slopes are the same. So now I have to check whether it's parallel or it's the same line, and we'll decide that based on the y-intercepts. Since these y-intercepts are different, this would have zero solutions. And the reason it would have zero solutions is because they would never intersect. They're parallel. This line and this line are exactly the same line, so they would have infinitely many solutions. Okay. So that's how I tell how many solutions the lines have. Now, sometimes they're not this easy. So let's see an example that is a little bit trickier to tell. In this example, it's really not easy to tell the different things because I have no clue what its slope or its y-intercept is because it's in standard form. So we're going to actually have to convert these things into slope-intercept form. So let's change this one first. To get this away from standard form, we need to make sure the x goes to the other side. So I'm going to subtract the 5x. Oops. Let's move over just a bit. And then, after I subtract that 5x, I'm then going to divide by -3 to get the y by itself. So 5 divided by 3 is going to give us 5 over 3x. And then 9 divided by -3 will give us -3. So there's one of our equations. Let's find this other one. So again, we're going to do a similar step. We're going to subtract the 10x over. And then we're going to divide by -6. So we're going to get y equals 5 over 3x minus 2. Now we have to check. Well, I can see that this slope is the same as this slope. But this y-intercept is not the same as this y-intercept. So because the y-intercepts are different but the slopes are the same, I know this has no solutions because the lines are parallel. This is the thing that you're going to have to do today. So it's going to be a lot of converting these things both into slope-intercept form, and then once they're in this slope-intercept form, you're going to decide, based on what we had before, whether it's going to have 0, 1, or infinitely many solutions. Try that.